welcome to Man in the Sands Pub video uno. Very happy to have you here. Today's video is about the fundamentals of whiskey tasting. And it's crucial that you understand a drop of water, how to nose a whiskey, not to worry about legs on a glass, etc. So we can enjoy the journey together. Otherwise, where's the fun? So let's start with the basics. History of whiskey. I'm not here to lay claim to who was the first producer of whiskey in the world. But a couple of things worth knowing. The oldest record of whiskey, in written record that is 1494 Royal Exchequer Rolls of Scotland. 1494. And yes, it did involve a monk. Of course it did. The monks, the Jesuits, they moved it across the islands and in the north of England. And what about Ireland itself? Well, Bushmills lays claim to the oldest refinery, licensed refinery in the world in the 17th century. So here we have the 1490s across to the 1600s. Wow. And that's whiskey. And look where it is today. The men and the women, masters of whiskey, look what they put in to produce amazing whiskies, whether you like them or not, whether you have a favourite or not. What they do is amazing. So, progressing swiftly from that, we are going to be tasting single malt and single malt blends from around the world. To get the most out of that, let's understand what we have before us. So we have the Padre, the Three Amigos, and the Mistress. Now, tasting glasses. This, you'll recognize, it's a tumbler. We put ice in a tumbler. One thing to note about whiskey and ice, apart from people's prejudices, although it's true, it won't have the same effects if you've drunken the whiskey neat or with a drop of the Padre. However, I've got to add, they're always in the films with tumblers, aren't they? But irrespective, chill-filtered whiskey has been produced so that when the whiskey hits the ice, it doesn't become cloudy. I don't mind a bit of mist of my whiskey around the ice. You may, but don't be fooled into thinking it changes the whiskey itself. So, right now, we're putting this to one side. Adios, amigo. That leaves two. I don't have two of these glasses. Otherwise, I would use the same as this for both tastings, neat and naked as nature intended, and with a drop of the Holy Spirit here. However, I do have this. It has a thick bottom, and I'll get to that. It has a curve. I'll get to that. And I use it myself for my tastings, so you can distinguish also what I'm doing. And this will always have a drop of the water. Why water? Well, I've just explained how old we know whiskey to be. Whiskey itself was always produced originally to a certain strength of alcohol. We now have it filtered down to around a 40% on average. Cask strength, high alcohol strength, before that final filtration process, that gives you a whiskey at over 50% or higher. It's meant to have some water added to get the best out of it and for you to enjoy it. So how much water? Well, let me show you. A drop. Just a drop. Nothing more. You're not here to drown her. You need to coax her out of herself. Let her become the social butterfly that you want her to be, while right now, she's kind of bound, okay? Now, before I get to the final amigo, this is the last of my wonderful Kalila, a first edition brand, 2011 release, 6-year-old, unpeated. Kalila traditionally is peaty. It comes from the Ile or the Isle. And it's not as smoky or heavy and complex as the Lagavulin, But it is peaty, but to the lighter side. This is unpeated. It's one of 100 bottles produced and released. It's a 56.4% alcohol strength. So guess what? The mistress is going to join the padre. And we'll come to that later. Let's put the mistress away, safe and sound. So we are left with this, gently mixing, getting coaxed out. We don't need the padre anymore, do we? No, we don't. So now let's talk about nosing and tasting. So I'm coming on to the final glass. This is a perfect glass for nosing and tasting. It has a wonderful tulip shape. It has a thick bottom. We like a thick bottom. We can caress and hold a thick bottom. It avoids us contaminating this beautiful product that's been produced for our enjoyment through oils and through heat. It also means the glass, again, is being protected when it's on the surface. Many whiskey tastings will have a similar glass, or they'll have it with a stem also. That is purely for you not to ruin the whiskey, the product. Now, we are not tasting wine. Do not do this, swirling it around. I don't want to hear about legs on a glass. That's purely fatty composition and high alcohol resistance to the glass. Don't care about it. Whiskey's amazing with what it tells you about its product. So, we want to nose the whiskey, but we need to be gentle. Wine, you do this. Right in there. No. Keep it out. Treat the mistress with respect. Tease. Play. So, gentle nose. Another nose. Now, what if you have a complex whiskey? Something that has heavier notes? Well, lighter notes do tend to stick to the top. So, take your glass, almost horizontal, back to vertical, and then slight angle again to nose. And you should now be able to taste the heavier notes. If the lighter notes were citrusy, floral, the heavier notes could be licorice, moss, peaty, smoky. Now we've done our nosing, we're going to taste. And tasting's important. If you can, try and taste it for longer than 10 seconds. Most people I know do it for a few seconds. At least try for 8, 9, 10 seconds. Ideally, you should do it for 20 or 30 seconds. The reason for this is science. When it's in the mouth and you're rolling it from the front to the middle to the back and back again, all over, you're allowing it to go through the oral cavities. You're allowing the mouth to absorb and enjoy. And when it gets to the back, it hits the cell receptors. Boom! And then we swallow. And when we swallow, just gently let it out through the nose. And then if you're like me, back in like a hurricane. Get in there. What was I tasting? I want it bad. I want more. And now I've got it on the hook. I'm going in for a second taste. And this taste does not stay long. Let it linger on the lips and then enjoy. Let it go down. Breathe out. Relax. What are you experiencing? What are you enjoying? We're not here to drink the bottle. We're here to enjoy and taste the complexities and the levels of the whiskey and how they've been put together by the masters, these men and women who are masters at doing this. Now, just between us, don't tell anyone else. Let's have a cheeky, impromptu, unofficial tasting of the Kalila. To do that, we all know, hats off, game on. So what's happening here? You see, I'm caressing the bottom, gently nosing. Oh yeah, oh hello. Well, I'm going. She's naughty. She's got me already. She's done a little dance in front of me, and I'm following her. Wow. Yes, Kalila, thank you. Gosh, she's good. Oh, wow. I've not tasted her since Christmas last year, and I know why. This is winter. This is a log fire. Fire crackling, heat coming up, getting cozy. She's warming you from the insides, gently massaging you. Oh, hello. And guess what? Someone's walked in, opened the door, and a draft of cold air's come across you. And now she has come sat next to you, and you can feel the cold off them, but yet that fire's warming you. And you're settling in for a long evening of chat, a long evening of catching up. Ever more so in these times, this is what this is. This is, for me, Christmas. For you, a winter whiskey. Oh. So smooth with the water, so smooth. And it's only been opening up for 10 minutes. Imagine another 10 minutes. So with that, I will leave you. I look forward to you coming on the journey. Together, we can enjoy many whiskies, many tastings, and please, your comments, your contributions, your laughter, your banter is very much welcome. But in the Man in the Sands pub, we don't allow anything offensive. With that, I wish you happiness, good health, and stay happy and enjoy your whiskey. Thank you for joining me. I can't wait to do it again.